Coming up on today's episode, we unbox Sharp's first 4-color LED HD TV. The Quattron. Does a 4th pixel really make a difference? The top 5 school movies in HD in honor of Back to School Month. Why Monoprice is still awesome for getting good deals. And of course, the Blu-ray releases for the week of September 21st, 2010. This is HD Nation.
HD Nation.
This episode of HD Nation is brought to you by GameFly. Check out gamefly.com/HDNation to get a free trial account. Squarespace.com. Use the code HDNation to get 10% off your Squarespace order. And Netflix. Netflix.com/HDNation for your free trial membership.
Welcome to HD Nation. I'm Robert Heron.
And I'm Patrick Norton. HD Nation is your guide to the best in HD content and the best in home theater gear, no matter what your budget is. Blu-ray online satellite cable over the air. If it's in HD, we like it. Oh man, I wanted to open the show, right? Ken Block's new Gymkhana 3 video. You gotta love a rally-built Ford Fiesta, all-wheel drive, 650 foot-pounds of torque, streaming through YouTube in 1080p. It's freaking amazing what Ken Block can do with this car. I want to thank PC Shoes, Monster Energy Drink, and YouTube for just bringing me a ridiculous entertainment.
Hey, but the reality is that there are a few things of somewhat greater importance to the HD Nation rolling out this week. Though, that 360 on the bank track is epic. Hey, anyway, so it turns out that HDCP's Master Key may be in the wild. At the website called pastebin.com, earlier this week, a 40 by 40 matrix of 56-bit numbers that contained, well, according to the Post, are in fact HDCP's Master Key that can be used to create basically devices that can make perfect copies of HDCP protected content.
HDCP basically being the content protection that goes from your Blu-ray to your Blu-ray player, over your HDMI cable to your HDTV.
All right.
It locks out the output of your PS3.
Yep. And for all the devices that are out there that have HDCP in them, legitimately deployed, they have basically requested a key that's generated from that master key.
Right.
Basically, this master key is out in the wild now, so they can create devices that are perfect. So,
if
this is true.
The master key.
In one sense, I'm sure hardcore pirates are really down with this. It's like, oh, if true.
Well, okay, hardcore pirates are down with this. You know who else is down with this? The people who write code for like VLC and other open source video playback tools who are now going, we'll be able to play Blu-ray on Linux or OS 10.
Or have some really interesting software packages coming out real soon. It'll be curious to see.
Yeah.
What becomes of it, if it's true.
Of course, my theory, this is actually released by the Blu-ray Consortium to hasten the demise of the Blu-ray disc to move everything online. I'm kidding, folks.
No.
Actually, it's going to be really interesting to find out if this is actually the code and then what the Blu-ray Forum Consortium's response is.
The consortium could issue new keys to everything and totally wipe out what's currently there, but the problems associated with that, given the sheer number of devices that are out there, it's very unlikely to happen.
Because Blu-ray skyrocketed this year.
People love HD.
Cydia, Intel Developer Forum, both going down this week. We're not hearing much from Cydia, the annual gathering of installers and the companies that make the stuff they want installers to install in your home theater. But Intel's new Sandy Bridge architecture, that's the former code name for the new 2nd generation Intel Core processor family, is showing HD video a lot of love. We're talking dedicated hardware in the core to accelerate HD video transcoding and playback, along with a new AVX instruction set to bump performance on video motion tracking, processing, and lots of other forms of computational computing. So the idea that you could have an inexpensive notebook, low-power notebook part that's going to do brilliant Blu-ray playback, that means it's also going to be great for low-power home theater PCs. I think it's going to be a big option for home theater PCs going into Q4.
They did a demo on prototype hardware that showed a 1080p 30 megabit, that's about a Blu-ray quality video, being shrunk down to iPod size. I think it was a 3-minute clip, and they did it in about 14 seconds or so.
CUDA is gone.
This could be the great chip for new home theater PC builds. I totally agree on that.
Home theater PC builds, and also if you're rendering your video collection or home theater PC servers or transcoding for your portable devices.
It's going to be neat to see what software developers will do with the hooks available to that, especially in portable hardware like notebooks and stuff.
Supposedly Cyberlink has the deal that they're going to be distributed. Intel's going to bundle them with the technology. It'll be interesting. Rumor has it Cyberlink's going to be on everything with this new chip. We will see what happens.
Intel also announced new Atom processors designed for embedded applications like cars, phones, and maybe HDTVs. I did see the Samsung logo on one of their press releases. Intel says that the new Atom CE4200 was, quote, designed to seamlessly integrate the internet experience with TV. Features include support for 3D, H.264 HD encoding, and multiple input stream support, along with smart power management to keep things green.
I got a few minutes over at the Intel Developer Forum, and Intel had kind of like a home theater, basically they had like a TV pavilion. They had a WiDi, which is the wireless display technology that works over Wi-Fi. We're gonna have a demo of that next week.
Nice.
Like Blu-ray, high definition, 3D, internet, and this vague concept that Odolini was talking about that basically means making the user experience suck less as you move between devices was all over IDF this year. Man, those new chips, by the way, probably the nails in the 1080p HD coffin for NVIDIA's Tegra chipset. Last week, Boxee announced they'd power the Boxee box with Intel CE3100 Atom CPU. That's the last generation of Atom hardware instead of NVIDIA's system on a chip. Boxee reps claim they simply couldn't get acceptable 1080p frame rates for H.264 video from the NVIDIA part, and that's why they didn't ship it on the original date this spring.
A hardware snafu.
Yeah.
Some folks are claiming that the Boxee box by D-Link is dead in the water, given that it will cost twice as much as Apple TV's, Apple TV 2, I take it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't bet the farm on that one.
No.
You talk about the ability to slash prices, and I look at companies like Intel making deals, and really, is the hardware within the Boxee box all that expensive? I think there's some fudge factor there for. Launch is hard. I understand that.
Yeah, but it's going to be like Boxee much friendlier to sort of open source or multiple platform content than the original Apple TV, and to a lesser degree the second Apple TV. Yeah, the battle for the set-top box may continue until it's all replaced by a standard interface on the HDTV. By the way, you will be able to buy TV shows and movies on iTunes to stream on the Apple TV. You just can't buy them through the new Apple TV, though some folks are suggesting purchasing seasons of TV and movies will go away slowly on the iTunes platform in exchange for more rights, basically rights to more streaming content. That's the argument, is that you can make more money renting than you can selling. We're going to see over time what Steve and Apple does with that. We're also going to see some new Roku boxes in the near future. They're making their way through FCC certification, according to the reports on wirelessgoodness.com. Roku ain't saying word one about this box. I call, they say, who, what? Huh? And in sort of like, I know, I'm not telling you kind of way. But I've heard that they're working on making it painless to stream your personal media collection on the Roku boxes. Pretty much the only fault I currently hold with the Roku boxes. The new box is also going to have 802.11n built in.
Didn't you mention last week that the current box got a price reduction?
Yes.
And it's also one of the cheapest ways if you want to do Netflix instant streaming.
Yes.
There's a nice $70 box.
Yeah, this whole set-top box argument is all far from over.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, all long far over. Hi, I'm a professional communicator. Let's take a moment to thank one of our sponsors, GameFly.com. You like gaming in HD, you're going to love GameFly.com. It's the largest online video game rental service around. They got over 7,000 new and classic titles for you to pick through, whether you're on console or handheld. They are there for you. $15.95 a month. It's pretty easy. You can rent 1 to 4 games at a time. You get to keep them for as long as you like. No late fees, no due days, and they ship stuff to your house and back free. It's kind of like Netflix. You're done playing a game, you send it back. GameFly sends you the next available game on your list. Yes, you can buy the games if you like it. Just click Keep It on the GameFly website. It's pretty cool that way. And HD Nation fans can get a 2-week free trial if they go to gamefly.com/HDNation. Some restrictions do apply. See the site for details. Please support us here at HD Nation by checking out our sponsors like gamefly.com. Just go to gamefly.com/HDNation. Check it out, people. You'll like it. Fall is a time of changing leaves, harvest, time changes, and school. So in honor of the legions of students attending their first month of school this year, we bring you our top 5 school movies in HD. Number 1, as chosen by Mr. Roger Chang, producer extraordinaire, Fame. The original movie, the quintessential performing arts school movie. I didn't know there were that many. Fame follows a group of students as they begin, progress through, and finish a year at the New York City High School of the Performing Arts, spawning a TV series, a stage musical, and a 2009 remake that's best left unmentioned. Fame, the original movie's memorable musical numbers, and Irene Cara's titular song, I Wanna Live Forever, will have you tapping your toes and enrolling for piano and singing lessons for your child today. Rock and Roll High School. Fire up the Ramones, people. We're talking crude, boorish, and juvenile. Rock and Roll High School turned the popular Ramones song into a non-threatening comedy about the generation gap. You know, the one between adults and teens. So we're talking stereotypical movie high school hijinks, girls in naughty outfits, and quasi-teen lingo straight from the hearts of middle-aged writers. Rock and Roll High School is a shameless, well, teen exploitation flick that's incredibly fun for all the wrong reasons. Don't worry, it's safe for the kids. 10 Things I Hate About You. I love this movie. Featuring Julia Stiles and the late Heath Ledger, 10 Things I Hate About You is a contemporary retelling of Shakespeare's Taming of the Shrew set in a high school, well, I think somewhere in the Pacific Northwest. Got pretty mixed reviews when it was released, but I'd say the script is well written, the acting is quite good, and there's some pretty nice cameos by pop bands Little to Cleo and Save Ferris. Look, 10 Things I Hate About You, it's gone on to achieve cult status by people other than me, and even spawned a rather short-lived TV series. And you got to admire Heath Ledger for basically saying no to the Hollywood machine, to doing more teen comedies that would prey upon his Australian beauty, and moving on to go on to, well, you've seen what the man did. Good stuff. Mean Girls. Oh yeah. This is an angry satiric comedy about. You love this movie.
I'm not sure if I've seen this movie.
You haven't seen Mean Girls?
I think I have.
Oh, Lindsay Lohan before
right.
she was a drunken mess.
Going on the
Tina
queue.
Fey's best writing. This is a satiric comedy about cliques and the predatory high school social scene where only the most popular survive. Mean Girls was described by its director as Clueless meets Heathers, and if you haven't seen those two movies, go rent those too. Starring, well, like I said before, a sober Lindsay Lohan, or at least relatively non-destructive, and featuring SNL alumni Tina Fey, Tim Meadows, and a guest star and Amy Poehler. This movie is smart and funny. Maybe too smart, but it is fun to watch. Donnie Darko. This mind-bending sci-fi thriller centers on Donnie Darko as he struggles to make sense of apocalyptic visions, missing time, and his own mortality. It took me like 2 months to watch this movie. It kept freaking me out. I put it away. I pulled it back. I watched it for a little bit longer. It freaked me
Good
out
flick,
again.
though?
Amazing flick.
Cool. I have this at home. I think I should watch it.
You should watch it in the dark while you're alone.
I can do that.
Featuring Jake Gyllenhaal, his sister Maggie, and Drew Barrymore, this cult flick is definitely a movie that gets better with repeated viewings. I will never know that fact, but I trust Roger on this one. Friday Night Lights, best use of an Iggy Pop song in a high school football scene ever. Also a pretty darn good movie about high school football based on the book Friday Night Lights, A Town, a Team, and a Dream. Basically, this movie follows the Permian High School Panthers football team as they make their way, or do their best to make their way, to the 1988 state championships. Along the way, issues of race, class, misplaced priorities, massively misplaced priorities, and politics, and, well, the social environment in a high school, all explored in depth. This is highly recommended, whether you're interested in football or not, because there's a lot going on, and the book is even more heartbreaking than the movie, although there are some high points in the movie, too. There's some good in the movie.
Did the TV series carry over well from what they did in the movie?
I have yet to see the TV series.
I hear reviews about it, and the people seem to love it. So I think there's a lot of talent got carried over.
The book's fantastic. The movie's
Content-wise.
fantastic. The soundtrack of the movie's fantastic. And actually, it
Good
should
music, I
look
take it.
beautiful on
Stuff that
HDTV.
speaks to you.
Who couldn't love Iggy Pop in any way?
Just don't look at that timeline of pictures going back to the. I don't know.
Sorry, Iggy, you're looking a little rough, buddy.
Oh, I hope I look as good at that age. Anyway, I can't tell you how glad I am that I'm done with school, because I can head to the store this Tuesday to check out all the new Blu-ray releases for Tuesday, September 21st, 2010. First up, American Beauty. The guy who brought you 6 Feet Under and True Blood started by writing this 1999 Kevin Spacey tour de force that won him the Best Actor Oscar. Twisted and weird, but utterly compelling, this film follows Lester as he goes through the ultimate midlife crisis. Also featuring Mina Suvari and the most beautiful plastic bag ever, this film won 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. This Paramount picture gets a Sapphire series release. There's a great review on HighDefDiscNews.com noting that there were only small improvements in the video quality compared to the DVD. Odd, which is a strong sign that the Sapphire series quality is uneven at best. The Godfather movie is gorgeous. Gladiator, not so much. And the extras on the American Beauty Blu-ray aren't so amazing either. Next up, The Experiment. It's a remake of a 2001 German film which is based on a classic 1971 experiment at Stanford that every psychology student is familiar with. 26 men participate in an experiment where they are randomly assigned to either a prison guard or a prisoner. Starting out on equal ground, things quickly go from bad to worse as everyone falls into their roles. Starring Forrest Whitaker and Adrian Brody, this thriller went straight to disc without a theatrical release, but with mixed to good reviews, it sounds like it could be worth a watch. Extras include deleted scenes, cast and crew commentary, and a featurette titled Stomp on the Yard Choreography. The Peacemaker, DreamWorks' first live-action feature, is a good movie, if not a big hit pre-24 Jack Bauer. You know, it's one of those movies with bad guys with realistic motivations. It really does pretty well. Clooney and Kidman are easy on the eyes. We hear it's a decent transfer, although not a benchmark blue for showing off your setup by any means, but quality fodder for a movie night. Also released this week, Spartacus, Blood and Sand, the complete first season. This Star series follows the story of the Thracian gladiator who eventually leads a slave revolt. The title really sums up the series, Blood and Sand. They try to stay as historically accurate as reasonably possible, but since not much is known about that time in history, they fill in the gaps with lots of fighting and lots of sex. It got 4 discs, 13 episodes, 1080p video, a Dolby True HD 5.1 soundtrack, lots of extras, and best of all, 4 extended episodes with content they wouldn't even show on cable TV. I gotta see that. A series of prequels is due to hit the screen in January, plus it's got a redheaded Lucy Lawless, so check it out. Other releases this week include BBC's Being Human, Season 2, HBO's Bored to Death, the complete first season, the Criterion Collection's Charade, Human Target, the complete first season, Megadeth's Rust in Peace, Modern Family, the complete first season, Undine, 2010's Robin Hood, 2009's The Secret in Their Eyes, The Secret of Moonacre, Tinkerbell and the Great Fairy Rescue, Triple Dog, and 1983's Vigilante. It's time to thank one of our sponsors, Netflix. With more than 15 million members, Netflix is the world's largest subscription service, instantly streaming TV episodes and movies over the internet and sending DVDs by mail. This week, my Netflix queue is topped off with one of Roger Chang's top picks for 2010, Kick-Ass. Strong, brutal violence, sexual content, nudity, and drug use in beautiful 1080p Blu-ray complete with a DTS 7.1 HD soundtrack. Good times, at least for us mature viewers. For $8.99 a month, Netflix members can instantly watch unlimited TV episodes and movies streamed to their TVs and computers, and can receive unlimited DVDs delivered quickly to their homes. Blu-ray plans start at just $5.99 a month. With Netflix, there are never any due dates or late fees, and shipping is free. Members can select from a growing library of titles that can be watched instantly, and a vast array of titles on DVD. Among the large and expanding number of devices streaming TV episodes and movies from Netflix are Microsoft's Xbox 360, Sony's PlayStation 3 game console, and Nintendo's Wii console. As a new member and HD Nation viewer, you can get a free trial membership. Go to netflix.com/HDNation and sign up now. Be sure to use this URL so that they know we sent you. Hey, earlier this year, Sharp made a big presentation about their new 4-color LED HD TVs. Basically, they're using yellow in addition to red, blue, and green that make up the picture that we see.
It's called Quattron technology, and it's going to make everything better.
Now, true, they're claiming that Sharp, this technology will produce more vibrant colors on the screen, but I think that's more really for marketing in the stores than it is for actual, maybe use in the real world for creating accurate pictures. Nonetheless, there are some pretty cool things that go into this new set. And
it's pretty
first,
like television has been red, blue, green pixels since it went from black and white to color. They're saying you need a 4th picture to deliver superior
how we make color
quality
on the screen is really just a combination of red, blue, and green. And now that we've added yellow, which normally you would just mix red and green to make yellow.
There's a lot of black in between the pixels, dude.
Well, you're also looking at a black portion of the screen.
Oh. Well, look at that.
No, but that is also part of the new technology. The pixel structure on this TV is also pretty cool. I think we should unbox this sucker, though. That's what I'm thinking.
I had no idea they could turn off individual elements within a pixel.
Oh, yeah, subpixels. Each pixel is a red, blue, green dot.
Get a loop, kids.
Put together, and if you turn them all up to 100%, you get white. If you turn them down to 0, you get black.
So the Sharp Aquos LED.
Hey, did you notice this is one of those boxes that doesn't have the little clips at the bottom?
Yeah, I did.
So,
and in case you're wondering, it's the LC52LE82.
Yep, 820. Their 820 series flat panel, saving all the important bits. All right, nothing's broken so far.
Well, we can fix
We have
that.
some extra fasteners. That slides on carefully. Got it. Oh, I'm glad these are nice rigid designs.
Yeah.
Here, mine's got a tip back this way. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh. Not too heavy. Rigid too, that's one thing. We were messing around with it earlier. Side mounted inputs, one component. 1, 2, 3, 4 HDMI. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. All right, we're back. The TV has been set up. We've plugged it in, and automatically this screen pops up, of course. The general, what language would you like the TV to be in? English, French, or
English, France, or
Espanol?
Spain.
We're gonna go Spanish. No, stick with English here. Home mode. This gets us into the whole, hey, where are we? Are we in a store or are we in home? We're gonna go home.
And the store mode does not qualify for Energy Star, which means that's the blow your eyes out and tan your cat mode.
Yes, you will consume much more cable, or much more electricity. Air cable channels, I'm just gonna stick with cable for now. I'm gonna skip this channel search because we're not actually hooked up to anything. Ta-da!
We're hooked up to
Static.
Actually, we've got a Blu-ray player on it now.
I do, and look at this. Now I just got to figure out which input we plugged it into. Oh, it does say available. Look at that.
Yep.
Ta-da!
4.
Come on. And I have a Blu-ray player hooked up with the test disc in it, and that was pretty simple. Now, we haven't hooked up the internet yet to check for firmware updates and things like that. That would be the next step I'd go. I'll just bring up the menu. Cool. So you can get things like weather, stock tickers, area traffic. That's kind of cool. It's actually multiple pages. Wow. I can get NASDAQ quotes, sports, astrology, clocks. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's cool. It keeps a split screen with the video playing. NASDAQ, astrology. A lot of this stuff's preloaded, it looks like. Let's go to picture settings real quick. I want to see some of the advanced options. You know, we are under the bright lights of the studio here, but for an edge-lit LCD, I'm not noticing any particular glare around the letterbox, the black upper and lower border.
Blacks are still pretty decent.
Yeah, even off axis, which is something usually, you gotta get this in a really dark room to see it accurately, but compared to most other edge-lit displays I've looked at recently, this one is looking pretty good.
Okay, no massive flaws showing up on the flip side, like on the unboxing of the Sharp 820 series. Are you looking at the screen? Now, it has been calibrated. You're not using your standard discs for viewing.
Just straight out of the box, very subjective. Overall, so far it looks easy. I mean, the picture quality is decent. Sound is actually pretty good for a TV this thin.
Yeah.
And I would have to say overall the setup wasn't too bad. I'd say probably the hardest part was just getting the bass on.
Right.
The time you spend doing that, but that was nothing.
Which is almost always going to take 2 people anyway.
Connecting the internet connection, just run an Ethernet cable to it, done.
Menu system seemed pretty clean.
It's much improved over what they used to have in their older series TVs, so that's pretty good. I'm not finding a backlit as far as the remote control goes, so that's like minor step down. I'll have to look around. I don't see a light button on here, so I don't think this is any way backlit, but pretty cool so far, I gotta admit. Can't wait to calibrate it and see how it looks. Play with some of the internet features. Try out Netflix. Try out all the other stuff too. Make sure that all works. See if it'll do a firmware update over the internet successfully. Little things like that.
Little things.
And I have high hopes for it, so we'll see. We'll put it through the paces.
High hopes, but the full review is yet to come. Right now, though, let's take a moment to thank one of our sponsors, Squarespace.com. It's a publishing system. It's a web hosting system. It's for anybody that wants to build an amazing blog portfolio, any kind of website. There's pretty good blog tools. Actually allow you to update from your iPhone directly. And if you're moving from someplace else, you know, there's pretty hassle-free importing of sites from other environments. Of course, you got stats and you know what, quite a bit more tucked inside of Squarespace.com. Look, it makes it super easy for anybody to build a site that you could only dream of on other platforms or pay somebody a lot of cash to build for you. And hey, if you're the kind of guy or gal that builds platforms, you know, that gets on the web and gets your code on, no problem, because Squarespace is going to let you go into the code and give yourself exactly what you want, old school style, instead of with that nice WYSIWYG interface for people like me. A lot of people all over the internet are using Squarespace, and they've been using it for years. And I'll tell you what, Squarespace is getting better every day. Want to check it out? Go to squarespace.com, get yourself a 14-day free trial. If you decide to stay on Squarespace, use the promotion code HDNation when you do. Right there in the checkout, they're going to have a space where you can put HDNation in there. You will score 10% off your order for the lifetime of your account. That's big savings, people. Check it out, squarespace.com, and use the promotion code HDNation.
Hey, here's an email about a place near and dear to my heart. Joe wrote in asking, I don't recall if you mentioned Monoprice.com on your show, but either way, I just wanted to reaffirm my love for them. I went to my local big box store today to get an audio cable, something I wouldn't suggest to even my worst of enemies, but I needed a cable fast. I ended up not buying the cable there. I came home and found it for 73 cents on Monoprice. Signed, Joe. Monoprice is a great first stop when you need to buy new cables, accessories, or stuff for your home theater. I always go there, or to say another online
Blue Jeans Cable.
Blue Jeans Cable, if I need quality stuff or information about cables, if I need a 40-foot run HDMI and I need it to work, I'm going to Blue Jeans Cable.
Yeah, or if you want an American-made, or at least an American, parts American, like assembled cable.
As American as
Jeans
it
Cable.
can be in this day and age.
What he said. And look, we also support local stores. We're lucky we have a place called Central Computer nearby, and Fry's.com, which is a local Fry's local chain around here. I think we both try to support local stores whenever we can,
Totally.
because we want them to be there when it's 4 o'clock on a Thursday and we need a freaking cable by 4:30, which means we can't wait for it to FedEx. So we want the big box stores to be around there. But yeah, look, the worst case scenario is a name brand at a big box store. The second worst case scenario is the house brand at a big box store. And the third worst case scenario is the weird pseudo, who knows where it came from, might be a house brand, might be something they picked up on bulk discount from Monoprice and then packaged up at the big box store.
I will say one thing, if you are going to shop at Monoprice, you might be tempted to get the biggest, thickest cables they make. Sometimes those can be pretty unwieldy when you're working with your home electronics gear. You don't need the heaviest cables of all if you're doing a 10-foot run of HDMI or something like that. Get something pliable that you can easily manipulate and save some money while you're doing it. If you're paying $5 to $10 a foot for an HDMI cable, just stop right there. It's just, or more.
Yeah, unless you're running like 4,000 feet, which is far beyond the HDMI spec.
You're not using HDMI for that anyway.
Yeah, a 6-foot HDMI cable should not cost $60 or $80.
Totally.
A 10 or 12-foot HDMI cable should not cost $60
And a few
or
of you have
$80.
written in about Monoprice's new, they have an HD media decoder box, basically, that supports multiple formats and stuff. A lot of you are asking us to get that in. We're working on it.
Yeah.
So, hey, we also got this question from JR who asked us, at first, I was annoyed with Sony's choice for Bluetooth for their PS3 remote. With time, I've come to love its, quote, no need for line-of-sight nature, so I can close the door where the AV gear resides to kill the ever annoying light show OEMs seem to think I need for distraction. I like that. I'm in the market for a new, reasonably priced AV receiver. Are there any that sport, be that standard or optional Bluetooth for the remote controls? If so, which ones? Signed, JR from Bemerton, Washington.
As far as you know, there's no universal Bluetooth remote, or essentially it would have to be like, you know, a Bluetooth box that sits in your AV cabinet to a Bluetooth remote, and the Bluetooth box would convert itself into IR blasters, because there's no AV receivers, as far as you know, that have a Bluetooth control module built in.
Some of the new net-enabled ones might be able to do control, say, through your phone over a device connected to the same subnet on the network.
Yeah.
That's not what I think you're asking for, really, but...
Harmony's 900 has an RF, basically includes an RF module that goes inside the closed doors, your AV cabinet, or on the other side of the wall if you have your AV stuff in a closet. That does the same thing that you want, which is, you know, non-line of sight, non-infrared IR-based control, but it's not Bluetooth. And of course, you'll still have to get a separate Bluetooth adapter to use that universal remote with your PS3, because nobody's got a Bluetooth remote. I'm actually playing around with some software and hardware modules for iPhones and the iPad.
Okay.
And if any of those turn out to function over Bluetooth, I think they're all Wi-Fi based, but we got a roundup coming up of those, and maybe that might also be an alternative to Bluetooth that solves your problem. But as far as Bluetooth, no Bluetooth universal remotes.
If somebody is aware of one,
AVR receivers.
do email us and let us know what it is so we can pass that info along.
Please do.
Yeah.
HDNation@revision3.com.
Yeah. Hey, and finally, we got this really fascinating email from Ralph in Alabama. He writes, hey guys, love the show. I'm an avid watcher on my Roku. I was raised on Mario. So naturally, I have a Wii, and like y'all, I hate how it's not in HD. I found this connector online and thought about getting it to simplify my connections. I know it won't put the Wii in true HD, but it's a cool gadget. Any word on Nintendo making a new HD Wii? Signed, Ralph from Alabama. Thanks for the link, Ralph. This is a pretty interesting device. It basically connects to the back of your Wii, goes right into the standard port where you plug in basically your adapter cable for AV output, and it basically converts that to a standard HDMI output.
Interesting.
CNET did a review of it. I would like to learn more about it, get it in, make sure it actually works. They gave it a 4 out of 5 star review.
They give everything a 4 out of 5 star review.
The only major negative, they said it adds about 3 inches sticking out the back of your Wii. So apparently it works pretty well. And that would give you, instead of having that spider of 5 cables for component output with left-right stereo, you'd have just one nice HDMI cable to work with.
That's a big plus.
$40, you kind of got to decide if that's worth it for you, but you know, if you have to have HDMI, it can be done apparently.
Yeah, our buddy Jay Edelson is one of the co-founders of Revision 3. Actually had a lot of fun with Anchor Bay, the DVDO box. You know, running the Wii into the DVDO box and having that interpolate for 1080p.
I must scale the Wii.
Yeah, but that's also a $700 fix to a problem you might not actually have. But
There you go.
It's a thought.
I like the idea. Having HDMI output on my Wii. It's a shame it didn't have it to begin with.
It's a shame it's not in HD, isn't it? But everybody at Nintendo is like, HD, whatever, we're still
I haven't
outselling.
seen any official word on the HD Wii, but I got to imagine that's in the near future. So.
I wouldn't hold my breath, dude.
Okay.
Ever see a video on YouTube and wonder, how do they do that? Well, wonder no more. You got to check out Revision 3's newest show, Joe Genius. They are taking the shroud, the mystery. They're basically telling you what's going on with the best science videos online and showing you why they work, or more often, why they failed miserably. Join host Jonah Ray for new episodes of Joe Genius every Thursday at revision3.com/Joe Genius. Check it out, people.
Hey, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode of HD Nation. As always, we want to know what you think. So send your comments, questions, or suggestions to hdnation@revision3.com.
You can always find us on Twitter, by the way, twitter.com/HDNation. You can find links promoting, well, pretty much everything we've talked about in today's show and the show notes for every show at hdnation.tv.
Plus, you'll find all the links to subscribe to the show. So please subscribe and watch. And until next time,
Thanks for watching. I'm Patrick Norton.
and I'm Robert Heron. We'll see you next week.